So hi everyone, I'm Nicolas Streschinsky. I work for Trilitech, and I'm running the DeFi team for the ecosystem, which is a vertical. And I'm looking after Etherlink, which is a blockchain where all of our DCM members were building earlier this year in Singapore and remote, save for one, very unique one, on Tezos as well. I'll let you guys present yourselves. I just want to say a quick word about Etherlink itself. Today we've heard a lot about Tezos and various apps on Tezos and various features that are coming to Tezos with some interesting chats and very technical ones in the morning as well. We thought that it was interesting to have one last panel that would actually introduce Etherlink, given that it's launching at the end of the month, beginning of next month, and that it's something that could potentially help us reach more and newer users for the various tools and apps that are coming to our ecosystem. So I'll let you guys present yourselves. Maybe Dmitry can start.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Dmitry, and I am founder of Hanji, which is an on-chain order book exchange that would be launching on Etherlink. So before that, I was building in Tezos for quite some time, launched leveraged farming protocol here on Tezos. Yeah, so let's continue.
Thank you. One. Hi, my name is Iakov. I'm co-founder at Rivo. We're building Robinhood for yields, for passive income. Our mission is to empower humanity with decentralized passive income. And we do this with the amazing support of Etherlink. With the efficiency of their tech, we will be able to recreate CeFi-like interface, but in non-custodial manner. And under the hood, you have the amazing decentralized indexes, which basically give you the exposure to the best DeFi yields across all EVM chains. It will be so fun, guys. Oh my God.
Nice. Hi everyone, my name is Bernd. I'm co-founder of Plend, and we're building the 1inch for lending and borrowing. In our first phase, we will launch as a lending and borrowing protocol on Etherlink at launch of Etherlink itself. And in the second phase, we will launch an aggregator for all lending and borrowing protocols. And in phase 3, we will launch an entire portal for managing all your lending and borrowing positions, where you can migrate your positions across protocols and across chains. I've been in Tezos since the ICO. We launched a DEX on Tezos, a bridge, a wallet, also co-founded Tezos India. So I've been here since the start, and it's great to see that we're now getting integrated into EVM, which will make things a lot easier for all the builders in the ecosystem.
Okay, pretty cool. They all took part, as explained, in the DeFi Catalyst Accelerator that was organized and put together earlier this year by a combination of people. And that was the opportunity for you guys to actually speak to each other, meet each other in person, either for the first time in the case of Iakov with the other two, or for dozen time for Bernd and Dmitry. What did you think was the value in taking part in the DCA? Is it partly related to the fact that Etherlink is a new chain that's coming up and that the ecosystem is coming together in a certain way? Is it the accelerator itself and the possibilities post-accelerator in fundraising and composability? What actually attracted you to the ecosystem in the accelerator to begin with? Maybe we can start with Iakov, with the latest member.
Sure. So there are different layers. Actually, we onboarded to Etherlink program 1 week before the program. So in the last train. So I was really hesitant, my fault, sorry. But then after we onboarded to Singapore, I saw such an amazing passion in terms of developing the actual ecosystem that is focused on first principles in terms of liquidity, in terms of managing capital, in terms of having correct projects in the ecosystem that actually bring value. So this was creating the amazing field for product to evolve. And during the acceleration program, we basically reiterated the product from scratch with a huge help from Nika and from other guys from Etherlink. And this helped us to get much closer to the product market fit and in terms of building what actually needed for the market and be much closer to the vision of actually helping DeFi to grow, helping crypto retail to onboard and to learn about DeFi, but still bearing the main fruit of DeFi, which for me is like decentralized passive income, because the liquidity is being used directly in the technology. You do not need to be into the hands of some centralized entity. And in this case, the amount of partnerships, amount of talks, amount of discussions, interests that happened within the DCA program was such an immense that I'm still trying to get all the Calendly links solved in my Telegram chat. So thank you for this.
I guess maybe we can dive into what we're trying to bring and trying to create with Etherlink, and how like that actually transpired for you guys when you were part of the program, and what it actually means for your building going forward. One of the things that we're trying to do with Etherlink, and we're really hoping to see materialize over the next few months, is to have a very composable, very integrated ecosystem where a bunch of the functionalities, a bunch of the apps deployed to it actually use each other, because this is one of the core strengths of DeFi actually, and of finance on chain. The fact that you can be composable, everyone is talking to the same blockchain, and can reuse some data, some value stored on chain. So I think a lot of that composability aspect was like driven by Hanji and Plend from a very beginning of conversations and things. And how would you guys talk about like the composability features that might come relatively short term for Plend, Hanji, and actually also Rivo with automated strategies?
Yeah, we have some experience in building on L1 on Tezos, and there we've seen that you need a lot of tooling, a lot of products to make an ecosystem work. And on Etherlink now we have an opportunity to do it the right way now with EVM, because there's so much more code, there's so much more tooling available. It will be way easier to make this ecosystem for DeFi work on Etherlink compared to building everything from scratch on L1. Because it was fun to build a DEX from scratch, to build a bridge from scratch, but in the end we want to build products that help users. And now we can build on top of what EVM builders have built over the last 5 years, and improve upon that. So the base is way stronger. It's a great stepping stone for making more complex DeFi and more usable products.
Okay, and concretely, could you give an example, like getting into the weeds a bit, of what could actually happen? Or maybe I can actually ask Dmitry, what are we talking about when we say that your projects will be composable with each other? What does it mean from a very user standpoint? I have $100 that I deploy on, I don't know, automated strategies on Hanji. What can I do with it? And what is the use case for this? And why would someone care?
So I'd say that composability is the kind of the most important thing in DeFi that we don't have in the world of centralized exchanges and in the world of traditional TradFi and brokerages. And this is something we want to leverage as much as possible. That's why we're putting Hanji fully on chain. And as an example, if the exchange is fully on chain, then every trading strategy can be implemented as a smart contract, which in a way can be used in other protocols. So for example, automated strategies on Hanji, their contracts can be leveraged in Plend, for example. They can be put in Plend as a collateral, and then the user can borrow money against it and use it for hedging or just leveraging their exposure and or changing their exposure somehow. And another interesting way would be to integrate it with Rivo, who are more focused on the end user, and then basically users in Rivo would have like one-click exposure to very different strategies offered through the Hanji's order books and product offerings.
Yep. Automated strategies in the context of Hanji are very similar to what people might have been familiar with in Uniswap type setups, where in Uniswap typically you can be a swapper, you can be an end user who wants to go from, let's say, BTC to dollar stablecoins, but you can also provide your liquidity for it to be used automatically on your behalf. And that is something that Dmitry's team is actually implementing in their own way into their protocol, even though it's actually a central limit order book. So that's a fairly new feature that a few protocols out there are working on and are doing quite closely. But because Dmitry's Hanji protocol is directly built on Etherlink, which is a quite efficient, cheap, and fast layer 2, they actually were able to create that protocol directly on the general purpose blockchain, which is Etherlink. While typically most of the others that have done this in the past or are still doing it, DYDX and Hyperliquid and Vertex protocol and so on, are typically roll-ups, applications, roll-ups that are designed only for one application, which limits that composability that we're discussing here. Let's dive a little more into what the DCA was like, and I think we can finish on this actually. For you guys, like we did a lot of talks and of mixers and of events during those 2 weeks in Singapore mainly, and after that in the remote part with some intervening partners of the ecosystem like IDOS and Midas and a few others. What did you think was the most useful in this? Like, did you think first of all it was useful at all? And like, then what did you actually find the most insightful? Did something make you change your mind on how you wanted to build your product or something like that, right? Yeah, I can see you feel quite strongly about this. Let's start with you, Bernd, then.
I just wanted to add on the previous point, also the accessibility now of Etherlink is way better because you can bridge assets way easier to Etherlink, and also I believe it will be super easy to deposit fiat to Etherlink. But the DCA, yeah, just being in the same location really helps. Like we're all very digital, but still looking each other in the eye, touching each other, smelling each other. That's different.
Stop it.
It was the best part. No, but seriously, like having a whiteboard and just brainstorming together, that's who would have thought that that works. So very useful to be with Nico, to be with people from TZ APAC who are very knowledgeable, who have a huge network. Yeah, just going from an idea to proof of concept and then getting feedback from other startups, successful startups, like a Pendle, for example. Yeah, it's super helpful, and yeah, just growing your network in that region also for your fundraise is yeah, super helpful.
Yeah, totally agree with you, especially on smelling part. Yes, but so my approach to DCA and my reflection on DCA. So first of all, within the DCA program, we have been connected with such an amazing partners of the ecosystem, like KYC providers, stablecoin providers, like a bunch of guys that help to create this specific combination, the alignment of the product that will be actually 10 times more useful for the end user than just the standalone product without the right connectivity with all those providers. So from the functionality part, it was incredibly useful, and I cannot wait to ship in the combination of all of those different parts that Nico and team have been putting together. It's really easy to build on top of this, so easy, and it brings much more value to the product. But on the personal side of DCA program, I really loved the integral part of it. Integral meaning that we had so much intensive events from different perspectives, looking at your product, tokenomics, legal, use cases in terms of growth of DeFi, design, VC pitching. So all of this came in a really constrained form, but because it was from different perspectives looking on the product, it helped to get this spiral of developing the product much faster. So within one day, the iteration on the product, your vision on the product slightly changes. So you're in this constant motion of updating and iterating on your product. So it was really creative, sometimes exhausting process, but it was definitely worth it.
Yeah, and I can personally vouch that despite the very packed programs that Amar and Alex, who is not here, but have put together, no one was significantly late a single time, which was great. Okay, but I think that gives a good overview of the DCA and of what the experience has been like. I want to conclude with two things, actually. So on the one hand, the DCA is not a one-off. That was the first thing that we did as, frankly, a bit of an experiment as well. We didn't know how much would come out of this. It was a successful experiment so far, and we'll see how successful it is when one of you guys, or hopefully all three of you, will actually raise money from external VCs. And we're hoping for this to happen soon. The second thing is, there's a DCA 2 that will be coming up. We don't know exactly when. I'm thinking maybe at the end of the year, at the beginning of next year, depending on the needs for Etherlink and what we see as the most useful time for our resources to be deployed and for how much of a need there is for builders on Etherlink on the various topics. And so we do think that because the first version has been quite successful, we'll see even more interest. We had quite a bit of applications this time around. We're hoping that this number of applications increases fivefold, and that we have sort of a better representation of what can be done on Etherlink for the next batch, because the chain will be live, some nice applications will be on there, and that will bring like potentially a different angle in terms of how you reach the end user or something among the builders who might apply for the second phase. So the DCA 2 is coming, and we're hoping that a bunch of you in the room will actually apply, who knows. Thank you for listening to us.